A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. Chapter 2. Pip's hand strayed from the keyboard, her index fingers hovering over the W and H as she strained to listen to the commotion downstairs. A crash, heavy footsteps, skidding claws, and unrestrained boyish giggles. In the next second it all became clear. "Joshua, why is the dog wearing one of my shirts?" came Victor's buoyant shout, the sound floating up through Pip's carpet. Pip's North laughed as she clicked save on her production log and closed the lid of her laptop. It was a time-honored daily crescendo from the moment her dad returned from work. He was never quiet. His whispers could be heard across the room. His whooping knee-slap laugh so loud it actually made people flinch. And every year, without fail, Pip woke to the sound of him tiptoeing the upstairs corridor to deliver Santa's stockings on Christmas Eve. Her stepdad was the living adversary of subtlety. Downstairs, Pip found the scene mid-production. Joshua was running from room to room, from the kitchen to the hallway and into the living room, on repeat, cackling as he went. Close behind was Barney, the golden retriever, wearing Pip's dad's loudest shirt, the blindingly green-patterned one he'd bought during their last trip to Nigeria. The dog skidded elatedly across the polished oak in the hall, excitement whistling through his teeth. And bringing up the rear was Victor in his grey Hugo Boss three-piece suit, charging all 6.5 feet of himself after the dog and the boy, his laugh in wild climbing scale bursts, their very own MOB homemade Scooby-Doo montage. "Oh my God, I was trying to do homework," Pip said, smiling as she jumped back to avoid being mowed down by the convoy. Barney stopped for a moment to headbutt her shin and then scampered off to jump on Dad and Josh as they collapsed together on the sofa. "Hello, Pickle," Victor said, patting the sofa beside him. "Hi, Dad. You were so quiet, I didn't even know you were home." "My Pipsicle, you're too clever to recycle a joke." She sat down next to them, Josh and her dad's worn-out breaths making the sofa cushion swell and sink against the back of her legs. Josh started excavating in his right nostril, and Dad batted his hand away. "How were your days then?" he asked, setting Josh off on a graphic spiel about the football games he'd played earlier. Pip zoned out. She'd already heard it all in the car when she picked Josh up from the club. She'd only been half listening, distracted by the way the replacement coach had stared bewilderedly at her lily-white skin when she'd pointed out which of the 9-year-olds was hers and said, "I'm Joshua's sister." She should have been used to it by now, lingering looks while people tried to work out the logistics of her family, the numbers and hedged words scribbled across their family tree. The giant Nigerian man was quite evidently her stepfather and Joshua her half-brother. But Pip didn't like using those words, those cold technicalities. The people you love weren't algebra, to be calculated, subtracted, or held at arm's length across a decimal point. Victor and Josh weren't just 3/8 hers, not just 40% family, they were fully hers. Her dad and her annoying little brother. Her real father, the man that lent the fits to her name, died in a car accident when she was 10 months old. And though Pip sometimes nodded and smiled when her mom would ask whether she remembered the way her father hummed while he brushed his teeth, or how he laughed when Pip's second spoken word was "pooh," she didn't remember him. But sometimes remembering isn't for yourself. Sometimes you do it just to make someone else smile. Those lies were allowed. "And how's the project going, Pip?" Victor turned to her as he unbuttoned the shirt from the dog. "It's okay," she said. "I'm just looking up the background and typing up at the moment. I did go to see Ravi Singh this morning." "Oh, and?" "He was busy, but he said I could go back on Friday." Lawrence said, with a mock dying swan dive back onto the bed. "I want to change my title already. Famines are too depressing. I imagine you'll be wanting to interview Naomi sometime soon." Carol looked pointedly at Pip. "Certainly. Can you please warn her I may be coming around next week with my voice recorder app and a pencil?" "Yeah," Kara said, then hesitated. "She'll agree to it and everything, but can you go easy on her? She still gets really upset about it sometimes. I mean, he was one of her best friends. In fact, probably her best friend." "Yeah, of course," Pip smiled. "What do you think I'm going to do? Pin her down and beat responses out of her? Is that your tactic for Ravi tomorrow?" "I think not." Lawrence sat up then, with a snot-sucking sniff so loud it made Kara visibly flinch. "Are you going to his house, then?" she asked. "Yeah." "Oh, but what are people going to think if they see you going into Ravi Singh's house?" "It's sausage to me."